Hello, friends. I'm Anderson Marchak,
And I'm Ricardo Segura.
and we are the Panel Bros. Welcome to the panel.
Welcome to the panel. Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Oh, yeah.
As of this recording, it is March 2025, and the Academy Awards just happened.
Yes,
So
they did.
the Panel Bros are here to give our official reactions to
hmm
the 2025 Oscars.
Oh, yeah. Oscars are always fun, man. Oscars are always fun. It seems like the Oscars are always filled with either some sort of controversy or surprises or shocks, and that's what makes it fun. You and I were surprised with a couple of these, and that makes it exciting. And, I got to give my boy a shout out. Conan O'Brien is one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah.
I said this to you off there. He's one of my favorite people in entertainment. So when I found out he was hosting, I was very excited. And in my opinion, he did a great job.
Yeah, it was a great night, fun show. Um, it's the pinnacle of the award season. So,
hmm
those of us that enjoy film, we watch things along the way. We have your SAG Awards, you have your Golden Globes, Critics' Choice. But let's face it, the Oscars are where it's at. This
Oh yeah.
is every um, artist in the film industry. This is like the pinnacle of success to many of them.
Oh yeah.
So,
This
we're
is their
going,
Super Bowl, the World Series.
right.
This is their WrestleMania.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what it is.
So we have a lot of winners to get through here, and let's
Mhm.
get to it.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, so we're going to get through a lot of the winners, just mentioning them briefly. But we're going to
Mhm.
have obviously, since it's us, we're going to have a special focus on the actors, the director, and
Oh
the
yeah.
best picture towards the end. So,
Oh yeah.
so we'll kick things off with best visual effects. Typically, this is a genre film,
Mhm.
science fiction, superhero film, and so on. So the nominations were Alien Romulus,
Yes.
Better Man, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Wicked, and your winner, Dune Part 2, of
Oh
course.
yeah. Dude, I was happy about this because I mean, look, Dune 2, as we mentioned, was both of our favorite film of 2024.
Right.
And there was a lot of people that were rooting for this movie. And I was hoping Dune 2 was gonna be that movie this year that was gonna go heavy. And I'm glad it got it for this. I think all of those had a lot of these movies had great visual effects, man. But Dune 2, it's on another level, man.
Yeah. And it didn't win as many as we'd hoped it would have. And we'll get to that in a little bit here. But we're glad that Denis got some love for at least one of the Oscars here.
Oh yeah.
Next up, we have Best Costume Design. And the nominees are as follows. We had A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and our winner, Wicked.
Wicked, bro. I was rooting for Nosferatu. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think the costume department of all these movies are great. Wicked had great costumes. Don't get me wrong,
Oh, yeah.
but Nosferatu, I think because it was one of those movies that it's a period piece. And one of my favorite thing about period pieces is that when you can authentically have the costume design transport me back, that's an amazing thing. Because Wicked obviously is a fictionalized tale, so they have like free reign to kind of do anything they want with the costume design, right? There's no sandbox at this point. Oh, we can do this, we can do this, and they were amazing for sure. But I was rooting for Nosferatu because, like, I love period pieces because it transports me back, and I think that I think that when it comes to Eggers, especially, he's really meticulous and pays a lot of attention to detail with his costume department because he's so adamant about time periods and period filmmaking. So I was rooting for Nosferatu, but I can't be mad about Wicked, man.
Yeah, and Wicked was nominated for a lot of Oscars. It didn't win as many as people thought it was going to win, but they did have to give them a little love here for
Mm-hmm.
best costume design. And shout out to the winner. When he got up there, he announced, he said that was the first time a black
Yes,
man had won best
yes,
costume design. So good on them.
absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Next up, we have another one that's typically nominated for genre films, and that is best makeup and hairstyling. So we have A Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, Wicked, and then our winner, The Substance.
The substance, bro. And I like to acknowledge that anytime I think about this one, I always think about the fact that Suicide Squad 2016 won the Oscar for this, and I'm
Yes.
like, Suicide Squad is an Oscar winning movie
Oh
for
yeah.
hair makeup and whatnot. But I mean, the substance. Come on, like
Right.
for those of you who know, and I had mentioned it before, I'm not a huge fan of body horror. It makes it makes me very like, ugh, I can't take it, right? But this stuff was awesome. The practical effects, everything about it, the the practicality, the visual effects, everything coming together, it was just great. And the makeup and everything else was just, it's exactly what it needed to be. It made me very uncomfortable in the best ways.
Yeah, The Substance to me was probably one of the biggest surprises of awards season, once things
Easily.
started picking up because we have this just, lower budget horror film with body horror, practical effects, and such. And, people were just recognizing it for what it was trying to do. This
Hmm.
wasn't just a horror movie, there
No,
was a
exactly.
big social commentary. And, good on them. They got the Oscar for best makeup and hairstyling, and it was gross in the best way because
Yes.
it's paid off. Alrighty, next up here we have best cinematography. We have Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, Nosferatu, and the winner, The Brutalist.
Ah.
So you didn't see this, did you, Ricardo?
I have not seen The Brutalist yet.
Yes.
This is one of those. So again, my brain was like Nosferatu,
Right.
Nosferatu, because like I saw Nosferatu, so I was rooting for it because again, there were so many scenes in that movie that felt like a painting that I was just like, this is visually incredible. But I have not seen The Brutalist, so I can't argue against it in any way because I'm like, oh, I haven't seen The Brutalist yet, so I got to watch it as soon as possible.
Yeah, so I did see The Brutalist. And,
All right.
I can see why it got best cinematography because there was a lot of footage for them to watch to
Oh
make
yeah, this is a long movie. This is 3 hours plus,
3
and
hours
I'm
and
like, all right,
34
come on.
minutes. So over the course of
Oh
those
my
3
god.
hours and 34 minutes, perhaps the, the Academy were like, "Wow, that's a lot of cinematography. Here we go."
That's a
So
lot of footage, man. You gotta, the amount of coverage you would have to make or that you would have to shoot for a 3 hour plus movie. All right, guys, here's the trophy. Here you go.
right. Right. Um, I could see Nosferatu getting in. Obviously, just anytime Dune was nominated, I was rooting
Mhm.
for that,
Yeah.
because just such an amazing looking movie. But there we go. The Brutalist got it. Um, I could see why it got it. I would have picked something else. But
Yeah.
I can see why it was a very long movie. There was a lot of different shots used and such. And because of well, here we go. We talk about this every year. When movies do really well and they get a lot of nominations, the Academy likes to give it a little love. So maybe at least
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
so one or two, something like that. So next up, we have Best Production Design. The nominees were The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and the winner, Wicked.
Wicked.
So, you gave us a nice uh, description on our last Oscar reaction last year of the
Mhm.
production design. It's whatever you see, what the movie
Yeah.
looks like. And so, looking at everything here, um, once again, just Dune Part 2, just the way that movie looks,
Dude.
it's just incredible. And Nosferatu was an incredible looking movie as well. Um, I saw Conclave, I saw The Brutalist, but once again, the Academy, they wanted to show Wicked some love, and kudos to them. It was a good looking movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It looks great. And again, the same kind of love that I give for Eggers for making a period piece where you can transport me back to a certain time period, is the same kind of love that I give a movie like Wicked for production design to take me to a fantastical place, a place that doesn't exist, and create such magic around it that when I watch it, I can be brought into that world as well. And that is major kudos to the production design team because everything about it is just, it's visually great to look at.
Yeah, it was a big movie, and um, I mean, a lot of CGI, which is
Mhm.
fine, but when you had those intimate set pieces and such, you felt like you were there.
Yeah.
You felt like you were in Oz, and it was great. So, shout out to Wicked. Alrighty, next up we have best sound design. So,
Mm.
we have A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot animated film, and our winner, Dune Part 2. So,
So good.
yes, so Denis got some love this tonight, excuse me, that night rather, and, I wanna say this was it for the Dune Oscars. They only won,
Yeah.
two Oscars that night, but I like that every time that Dune won, whoever won, they went up, they gave a shout out and some love to Denis.
You got to. You got to, man. Like, people don't I think people underestimate how important sound design is.
Right.
So when you look at all these movies and the nominees for sound design, it's very easy for someone to who really doesn't really pay attention to sound design or whatnot to kind of be like, oh, this is kind of like a throwaway. And I don't believe that's the case. Sound design is so important, and again, it contributes to the atmosphere as much as things are visually taking in. The sound design is so important. You and I have talked about this before on numerous things, whether it was projects or films in general, the idea of visual versus audio and how important audio and sound design is to whatever it is you're working on. And Dune 2, again, there's so many technical achievements that Dune 2 could have won for, and I would not argue against any of them. So I do love that it's getting technical achievement awards and winning those Oscars. And you got to give a shout out to Denis. And I think one of the reasons why, I have no other reason, I haven't read this anywhere or anything like that, but I think the fact that Denis Villeneuve wasn't nominated for Best Director is criminal because Dune Part 2 was nominated for Best Picture. So I think that it was such an awesome thing that, for these two wins, they made sure to give love to Denis Villeneuve, who sadly wasn't nominated for Best Director this year.
Yeah, and, rightfully so, the sound design was great on Dune.
Mhm.
So, rightfully so, but it would have been a shame that, the first Dune got some awards as well. We talked about it. It would have been a shame for part 2 to not get anything at all, but,
Yeah.
at least the, Academy rewarded them, and even more so, I love just seeing those winners go up there and give a shout out to Denis,
Yep.
so, um it's probably gonna be to me, that's like a little bit of a foreshadowing that this is a man that's just gonna continue making some incredible films, and this isn't the last time we're gonna hear Denis' name
Oh, yeah.
at the Oscars, for sure. Alrighty, next up, we have Best Original Song. We have The Journey, the 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Emilia Perez, Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late, and the winner, El Mal, Emilia Perez.
Oh, yeah.
So I did get a chance to see Emilia Perez,
Mhm.
and it just to me this was just one of those situations where I guess it wasn't split. You kind of increased your chances to win since you had two
Oh, yeah.
nominations in there. Emilia was nominated for a lot of Oscars, and we will get to that later on. Um, so it's no surprise to me that it was a musical. It got two nominations in the Best Original Songs. So for me, it's not a surprise that Emilia Perez ended up winning for this one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be watching it very soon, so I will be watching it within this week, and I'll be able to have a better understanding and appreciation for that song, possibly.
Right. Next up, we have Best Original Score. So we did want to remind you folks. So Dune Part 1 was nominated for original score, Hans Zimmer, the
Mhm.
GOAT.
Yeah.
And the reason why Dune Part 2 wasn't nominated is because he used some of the parts
Mhm.
from Part 1. So they kind of struck him from being nominated for this Oscar, unfortunately. But either way, just a little tidbit there. So we have our nominees. We have Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot again, and then the winner, another one for The Brutalist.
Yeah.
So, once again, I can see why The Brutalist won. like,
Is that
these epic movies, I thought the film was fine, but
Mhm.
a lot of these epic movies, it is Oscar bait.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're hoping that um, it gets recognized not just by the Oscars, but all these different awards categories and such and ceremonies along the way. So once again, I can see why the Brutalists ended up winning this one here. Um, I'm looking here. Hmm, I could have seen it Wicked getting it.
Mhm.
I could possibly seen Conclave getting it, but once again, I can see why Brutalist got it. That's another one that was nominated for a lot of Oscars. So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
there's so many nominations and awards to give around, so they gotta like split it up a little bit, you know?
Yep.
Alrighty. Next up, best animated feature. Shout out to animation.
Yeah, baby.
So we have one of our favorites from last year, Inside Out 2,
Yes.
Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, The Wild Robot. There's that movie again.
Mhm.
And we have the winner, Flow.
Flow.
So, you didn't see this yet, did you?
No, but I've heard a lot of good things about Flow, a lot of good things, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's on Max.
It is.
So, I'll probably yeah, I'll watch that. I'll probably watch that tomorrow. That's what I'm probably gonna do.
So I would have been happy with either Inside Out 2 or The Wild Robot.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm more partial to Inside Out 2, but
Inside Out too.
that's fine. But I can see why Flow won.
Mhm.
Very little dialogue. It was really
Yes.
artistic, and it's about a cat. It's such a nice. It's a feel good movie.
Mhm.
It's really nice. And I don't want to give too much away. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a great looking animated movie. I can definitely see why it won. So
Yeah.
shout out to Flow. Next up, we have Best Original Screenplay. We have
Yeah.
The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, The Substance, and our winner, Honora.
Anora, dude.
So, oh, we are going to
This
talk
is the
about
beginning.
Honora.
This is the beginning of the Anora, takeover, if you will. This is
Yes,
it. Yep.
Honora was the big winner of that night, and it did it with pretty much half the nominations of a lot of the other
Yeah.
movies. But um, nothing much to say here. The Academy really liked Honora, and this was just
Yeah,
the
they did.
first of many Oscars that it got. I mean, it was fine as far as my opinion goes. Like,
Mhm.
it was funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I remember texting you and be like, "This movie's a lot funnier than I thought it was gonna be." I thought the movie was gonna be one type of movie, and periodically the movie would shift gears a little bit. And so kudos to them for getting best original screenplay, right? Best original
correct.
screenplay.
Yeah.
So, and I get that too, because having seen it, I was like, yeah, I can buy into that because it was one of those movies that I wasn't sure where the story was gonna go. It went from you know something that felt pretty dark to almost like dark comedy. I found myself laughing quite a bit and going on this journey with the characters. So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, there was a lot of nice moments there, obviously anchored by Mikey Madison's performance. She just breathed life into the
Oh yeah,
script.
she was great.
Whenever she was on screen, she was electric. So that had a lot to do with it. A lot of the other characters as well. As far as just original, I could have seen The Substance getting this
Oh
because,
yeah, yeah.
you know, The Substance with such great performances and such a great social commentary, I would not have been surprised if The
Hmm.
Substance got this. But clearly, the Academy wanted to,
Oh yeah.
reward it more for the night. Next up, Best Adapted Screenplay. We have A Complete Unknown, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, and the winner, Conclave. So I saw this too.
It's like, yeah, baby. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw this too. A great performance from Ralph Fiennes. He's a wonderful actor.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
if I don't think you saw this, did you, Ricardo?
No, I didn't. I'm actually trying to see where it is because I'm like I'm putting all the ones that I missed
Yeah, it's
on the
okay.
Oscars. I'm like, all right, where am I gonna watch this next? I'm like, okay.
This was the movie that I thought might have surprised people.
Hmm.
Like, people were starting to say that Conclave might walk away with Best Picture and
Oh,
a
okay.
couple of the other top awards coming into the night because a lot of the other movies were either A, losing steam, such as Honora, or B, surrounded by controversy, Emilia Perez. Um, Wicked was another one that just came in hot during award season and then started losing steam along the way. So
Hmm.
people were starting to say, "Oh, maybe Conclave might start, coming in." So um, it was a great movie, actually. I enjoyed it. A lot of controversial topics explored in the movie, but out of everything here, yes, I can see why it, they got it, and also just the Academy. They just want to give one movie that with a lot of nominations, they want to give it at least a little bit of love.
Oh yeah.
We have our acting categories. So
Yeah.
first up, we have Best Supporting Actress. We have Monica Barbaro, A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist,
Hmm.
Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and our winner. And before we get to the winner here, we should have known this was going to happen because along the way, she won the Screen Actors Guild Award. She
Hmm.
won the Golden Globe. She won the Critics' Choice, and she won the BAFTA, the British
Oh
Award as well. So it was hers to lose.
yeah.
And um, let's get our little screen share here. The winner for the Best Supporting Actress Oscar went to, there she is, Zoe
Yeah.
Saldana.
Yeah, that was and her speech got me. It was very moving. Her speech. She called
Yeah.
out to her mom, and talked about her heritage, and being of Dominican descent, and being the daughter of immigrants, and just if her grandmother could be here, you could tell that it was such a real moment for her, and you could feel the emotion. So even though I hadn't seen the film yet, I could still I could see how much this meant to her, and it was a nice moment.
Yeah, I was happy for Zoe. I should have stayed up with the award season along the way. Otherwise, I would have been more prepared for the win because it was kind of like oh wow, she got it. Good for
Yeah,
her. But shout out to Zoe, just grinding over the years. Just she did all these blockbuster movies. She's been in all these
hmm,
franchises. We're talking about Avatar. Excuse me. We're talking about the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also the Star Trek reboot as
yeah,
well. So she did a really good job of putting herself out there over the years. She's been in tons of movies. Um, so for her to just finally get recognition for her work, good for her. Having seen Emilia Perez, I can honestly say this is her best performance. It's a career performance,
good.
absolutely, and absolutely deserved um, compared to the other nominees. I saw you and I talked about this off the air that when we saw Wicked, we said we knew Ariana Grande
Hundred
was
percent.
going to get nominated.
Yep.
And, um, once we started seeing the nominations come out from the award season, not Oscars, I was like, man, I don't know. Ariana Grande might actually win this,
Yeah, yeah,
along the way. But obviously, that was before um, we had seen, well, that was before I had seen Emilia Perez, because then I would have changed my opinion once I saw it. This was Zoe's to lose, and good for her. What
mhm.
a great win and great acceptance speech as well.
Yeah, with Ariana Grande, I remember us specifically talking about that, and walking out of Wicked, the first thing that I was like, oh, she's gonna get nominated. Like Ariana Grande is gonna get a nomination, and like you said, there were plenty of people that thought she had this in the bag. I had friends that I had spoken to that were like, Ariana Grande is gonna get it, and I was like, I don't know, man. There's some stiff competition out there, and they're like, yeah, but I think it's going to be shocking and whatnot. And lo and behold, it didn't end up going that way. But I believe you when you say that it's a career performance from Zoe Saldana. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be checking that out immediately.
Yeah. A lot of people called Ariana Grande. She was kind of like this year's Ryan Gosling,
Hmm.
playing Ken and Barbie.
Oh yeah,
Just a real comedic role, but just so good that it deserved
she was so good at it.
awards recognition. And
Yep.
I have a feeling that this isn't the last we've heard from Wicked, because when that sequel comes out, I have a
Oh
feeling
yeah.
that we're gonna see them again the following year.
I
You
I
know?
agree. I agree. Like because Ariana Grande had a great balance in that movie of comedy as well as good dramatic moments, and I think that with
Oh yeah.
Wicked 2 coming out, we're probably going to get more dramatic moments. So I would not be surprised to see those two women come back.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Best Supporting Actor. First up, Yura Borisov from Anora, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice, and the winner. This is a movie that Ricardo
Oh
encouraged
yeah.
me to see, so I ended up seeing it. We have Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain.
This dude is Kieran Culkin is on a roll right now.
Oh yeah.
I can't like, this dude is on a roll. This I will say this, and I remember texting you where I was watching the movie and having seen Karen Culkin on screen as well as Jesse Eisenberg, I was like, oh my god, they're playing versions of themselves. So like Kieran plays this type of person, especially in his speech. For anyone who's ever seen Kieran accept an award, you know exactly what type of energy that he has. There's almost this chaotic, this chaos to him, but likable and lovable. And that was pretty much very, very, very similar to the role that he played. But I'm not surprised. Kieran has been on an absolute tear with multiple award wins, so I was not surprised to see Kieran holding up the Oscar this night.
Yeah, it was definitely his to lose once again. Just along the way, he just got a rewarded for his work in this movie. We know him from Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was I don't want to say early in his career, because he kind of started when his brother started.
Oh yeah, he
You know,
started very young.
yeah, he was in the Home Alone movies too. If
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, he's Fuller in Home Alone 1. Yep, he's Home Alone 1,
Yeah,
Home Alone 2. That was the first time I've ever seen him on screen. And yeah, he's been acting ever since. Yeah.
yeah. So he's been in a lot of movies over the years. Those of you that watch Succession
Mhm.
would know him best from that, and he was in that for the entire run of the show. Um, let's see here. I could have seen Guy Pearce winning this,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't have been shocked if Jeremy Strong won this. I saw The Apprentice. He was awesome in that movie.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, in that movie. But once again, it was Kieran's to lose just along the way. And the Academy just followed suit. And deservedly so. He was great in
Yeah.
this movie.
Oh yeah, he was. He absolutely was really, really good. Like Kieran has this energy throughout the entire movie as well. And I remember telling you that he's got this vibe to him. And I said in the last 2 minutes, he hits this emotional beat without saying anything. And I was like, and it's not saying that the whole movie didn't have me. I was in for the whole movie, but there's those final 2 moments where Kieran is alone on screen. He doesn't say a word, and I was like, oh, it got me. Like, and that takes a lot because you're acting with no dialogue. So yeah, like he was absolutely deserving. The entire performance was great.
Yeah, in the beginning, when the movie started, I was kind of worried because he was kind of playing that character where
Yeah, yeah.
just irritating and just I don't know if I'm going to be able to
Unlikable, man. Just unlikable
can I
at
stomach
times.
this movie, with this one
Yeah.
character. But along the way, you just see the layers of the
Mhm.
character. And congratulations on the Oscar, Kieran. You deserve it.
Oh yeah.
All righty. Next up, we have Best Actress. So we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez, Demi Moore, The Substance,
Ooh.
Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, and our winner, which we are going to talk about for a little bit. There she is, Mikey
Mikey
Madison
Madison.
for
Mm.
Anora.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. So this award season, it was just a back and forth. Well, actually, it wasn't really a back and forth. It was just no, Demi's taking
To
this
me, yeah,
because she
I was
won,
under the impression. Yep.
because she won so many along the way, including the Golden Globe. Mikey was the front runner early on,
Hmm.
but then once the award season started, it was like, oh, we think Demi's going to get this,
Yeah.
and then I hate to say this, but it ends up being like a career lifetime achievement award type
Yes.
deal, but
Yeah.
that's okay because she's had a long career. Um, but no, it would have been no. She did an amazing job in this movie. It
Yep.
it wasn't just a lifetime achievement Oscar. Um, it, all of these women were amazing. Cynthia Erivo, awesome,
Oh yeah.
just awesome. Wicked isn't Wicked without Cynthia Erivo at
Cynthia's
all.
incredible, dude. Like Cynthia does something um that is really difficult. Like they all have difficult jobs. But and we talked about this, the fact that she was singing live and the fact that she was singing while doing wire work and stunt work
Yeah,
is extremely difficult, and to have that level of training to be able to sing on its own is extremely difficult, but to sing under those circumstances is a lot. And she crushed it. Even in those moments in the movie where she's not singing, Cynthia's bringing it. She has this great presence on screen, great charisma, great energy, and a brilliant performer. So, like you said, like there was plenty of talent on this lineup here. Like you, I thought dude, like many people, I thought Demi Moore had it. I really did. For a couple of reasons. Um I think everyone's performance was great, but like you said, I think Demi's performance was great, and on top of that, I was like, oh, and this will be like that lifetime achievement. Like, Demi,
right,
you've been in the business for so long, and what a way to finally get it with this incredible performance in The Substance. So I put two and two together. Like, I was like, oh man, we have two reasons. One, her performance was brilliant. Two, lifetime achievement. How can they not? And again, up to this point, she was getting a lot of award recognition leading up to this. And then with Mikey, I was just like, her performance was also incredible, and I was like, oh, is the Academy going to do that thing where they have done before, where age will come into play, where okay, Demi lifetime achievement as well as brilliant performance. Oh my God, Mikey amazing performance. She's young, she'll be back. Let's give it to Demi. These things have happened where you feel like certain directors, like when Martin Scorsese finally got the Oscar, right, for The Departed, and everyone was like, Martin's made way better movies, right? And people were like, oh, but they had to give it to him because of this and that, and it's his time. And I was like, yeah, I get that. So I really thought Demi Moore had it. I really did.
right.
And Mikey got it, and I was surprised, but after seeing Honora, like Mikey absolutely crushed it too.
Oh yeah. Um, when I saw Nora, well, I saw it after the fact, after all the award season started, amping up.
Mhm.
Um, I texted Ricardo immediately and I told him, I said, "Oh no, she's electric. She's
Yep.
amazing in this movie, and just a true lead role where the movie doesn't work without her. She's awesome. She was
Yep.
absolutely awesome in the movie, and um, deservedly, won the Oscar. There were so many people here that if they won, we wouldn't have argued. Cynthia
Yeah.
Erivo, obviously Demi, but good on Mikey for getting this Oscar. And here's the thing, though. It's very young in her career. Very
Very young.
early. Um, I want to say we've seen her in a few things. She's been
Mhm.
in Scream, Once Upon a Time in
Yep.
Hollywood
In
and
Hollywood.
such. Yeah, so she's been in a few things here and there, but now it's like, hey, you're in your mid-20s, you just won an Oscar. Now what are you gonna
Yep.
do?
Yep. It's like you just won the Oscar, and I'm sure that phone is ringing off the hook. I'm sure everybody
Absolutely.
right now is jumping to get her on project, especially because she's young in Hollywood. She's still fresh. She's still new. Big win right here with the Oscar. So I'm sure she's going to have a lot to play with. There's already rumors and gossip of certain studios wanting her for IP and things of that nature, and that's what's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting to see how she takes this catapult at this moment and utilizes it and what film projects she chooses and whatnot.
Yeah, and good for her. Great speech,
Oh
and
yeah.
just adding on to just the great night that Honora had. But I don't want to take anything away from Mikey. She did an amazing
Oh, she
job.
was great. She was
Yeah,
incredible.
the movie, it doesn't work without her, you know. So
No, and let's be honest. There's quite a few scenes in this movie that can be pretty uncomfortable to film, to be an
yes,
actor and do that, and she did it. And you, at no point or another, would you feel like, oh my god, this must have been uncomfortable, because she's just that committed to what she's doing. It's not an easy role. I think a lot of times people can, look at the type of movie that Nora is and be like, oh, it's easy, like she's playing a dancer, so she just has to do this. And I'm like, what? Actually it's a lot deeper than that. And it's not an easy role. None of these roles were easy, but this was definitely not an easy role. So she deserves her flowers, and we're happy that she got them.
and that was another reason where I thought that it was Demi's too, because she had to do a lot of things. Like, this is a
Yeah.
woman in her
Yeah.
60s,
Hmm.
um, she playing an aging actress. You talk about like something
Yeah.
hitting you right in the face, you know. So she related directly with the lead character, and obviously we talk about this, like when you go nude, man, like
Hmm.
that's something that the Academy and the awards companies and such, they look at that. You know,
Hmm.
she did a lot of stuff too. Um, and then there's scenes where she just had to be so vulnerable as far as the
Yes.
transformations and stuff like that. No, to me, this was a career performance for Demi.
Hmm.
So that's as far as that goes. But once again, no shade to Mikey. Good for her.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Best Actor. Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. By the way, he's a great actor. I've seen him in a
Hmm.
few things. He's great. We have Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. He was awesome, by the way. I
Oh
saw
yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. And our winner, Adrian Brody
Adrian
for The
Brody.
Brutalist. Um, this category was stacked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Stacked this year. Um, Unfortunately, I have not seen A Complete Unknown, but people are saying that, you know, Timothy's was awesome in that.
Hmm.
Um, and um, you know, deserved this Oscar nomination. I thought Domingo was great in Sing Sing. Ralph Fiennes always excellent, but he was great in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan was pretty awesome in The Apprentice as well. But I saw The Brutalist, very long and epic movie, and having seen it and seen all these other nominees as well, once again, I can say I can see why the Academy gave it to him. It was an epic performance, absolutely
Oh
epic
yeah.
performance,
Yeah.
and it's so odd. We're looking at over 20 years since the last time he got an Oscar
Yeah.
nomination and win for The
Yes.
Pianist. You know,
The pianist. Yep. He absolutely did win for that.
so um, I don't think you saw any of these movies, did you, Ricardo?
I have not seen The Brutalist. What was
The Apprentice?
The Apprentice? I have not seen that either.
Yep. Conclave?
Uh, Conclave, have not seen that either.
Sing Sing?
I have not seen that
And A
either. Yeah,
Complete Unknown. Clean
this
sweep.
yeah, this one got me. This is the
Yeah,
one
it's
that
all
hurt a
right.
lot. I was like, oh, I didn't get to see these movies. They fell through the
Yeah.
cracks. But again, it's one of those things where I remember looking up trailers and clips, and Timothy Chalamet, like, obviously,
Oh, yeah.
is blowing up in Hollywood as well. And he's been very open on a previous speech that he said he wants to be one of the greats. He wants to be
Oh,
looked at as one of the
great
greats.
speech.
And
Yeah.
I think it's great to have that level of, like, just be like, hey man, I want to be one of the greats that I looked up to and were inspired by. And I heard he did a great job here. I heard he did a lot of training, did years of work and preparation. So it's one of those that, like, yeah, if anyone had said anyone else won, you kind of go, okay, like, I buy that. All these people are incredible actors. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And Adrian Brody won 20 years ago and is back again winning another Oscar. And it's like, you know what? When I watch it, I'll get a better appreciation for the context of these wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, next up, we have Best Director.
Yeah.
So we have Brady Corbet for The Brutalist, James Mangold, A Complete Unknown. Shout out to James Mangold. He directed Logan.
Logan, baby.
um, Jacques Oidard for Emilia Perez. Corley Firget for The Substance. And your winner, Sean Baker. Whoop.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, let's get that screenshot there.
That that's again, that was another
Yep.
surprise. Like Honora was
Sean
getting this
Baker for Nora.
Honora was getting this love, man. And
Right.
I was like, whoa. I said, hold on, we got best director. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I was very, very, very surprised that Denis was not nominated for best
Yeah.
director, especially with a best picture
Yep.
nomination. I've always think that's weird to nominate a film for best picture, but not the person orchestrating the film. Like it's so odd. But
Well, there's only so many to go around. You can do 10
exactly.
best pictures, but only 5 for the
Yep.
director.
And it's like,
So
all right, here we go. And then Sean got it. Again, I really enjoyed Honora, but I was still surprised. And I was like, oh wow. And then when this happened, my brain started to go, is Honora gonna win Best Picture?
right.
Like because I'm like, they just got Best Director. And I was like, oh man, but yep, your boy Sean got it. So I was like, oh, good for you, man.
Yeah, he's been making movies for a little bit. Let me see. The only other one I've seen in his filmography is The Florida Project, and I
Okay.
thought that was a pretty decent movie. Um, so it was kind of in the vein of Florida Project 2. We're taking people in a real life situation and we're focusing on how these people um, deal with their aspect of life.
Okay.
And Florida Project was about people that live out of hotels.
Okay.
And when I watched it, I said, "Oh, it wasn't an easy watch, but um, I thought he did a good job with that, you know." So he kind of took that when he did Honora and talking about people in this industry, you know. So exotic dancing, that industry, you know. So um, I mean, good on Sean Baker, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just such a surprise, but Honora got a lot of love, throughout the night. But yes, we're a little upset that he didn't get nominated, but it's
Yeah.
all right. He'll be back.
He will be back. I best believe it.
Yeah, but good on Sean Baker there. So we have our last award of the night. Um, they did a full 10, I want to say. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, full 10. The nominees are as follows. We have The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, shout out to Denis,
Yep.
Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked, and lastly, our winner, Honora won Best Picture.
Nora, man.
Wild.
I remember being like, what? And again, as I just mentioned, when Sean won Best Director, I was like, wait a minute. Like I thought it was going to be The Brutalist, even though I have not seen The Brutalist, because and we talk about it, like some movies are just heavy Oscar, like they're heavy
Right.
Oscar bait, like you can feel it. And I was like, all right, Adrian Brody won Best Actor, and I was like, considering the subject matter of the film, what it was doing. It's a long film. I said, oh man, I can see The Brutalist doing it. And I was just saying that from like a perspective of like how the Oscars tend to operate. So when they said Honora, I was kind of like, what? Like I was like, yo, Honora was the surprise. This was the surprise movie at the Oscars to kind of get as much love that it did. I was very taken back in a good way because again, I really enjoyed the movie. Like I really did. So this was a nice surprise, and I'm sure everyone involved was thrilled.
Yeah, Honora was great. I'm still surprised, like Ricardo, that it won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Um, I thought it was going to be The Brutalist. I thought it was going to be The
Yeah, like I
Brutalist.
haven't even seen it, and I was like, it's gonna be The Brutalist. It's like they're gonna give it to The
Yeah,
Brutalist.
just this long, epic movie. Um, Great performances from everybody. Just tons of nominations. All right, well, it didn't get too many wins. Adrian won it, but all right, let's see. And then Honora just right at the end. And it's like, and
Yep,
we're gonna talk about this in a little bit. Honora got a lot of the top awards. It didn't get
it did.
nominated for many, but it won a lot of the top awards. So,
Yeah,
um, clearly the Academy liked what Sean Baker was trying to do with
Mhm.
focusing on this industry.
Yeah,
And in addition to that, and what the women in that industry go through, obviously.
yeah,
Um, and then it kind of the way the movie, I don't want to give it away, but it starts as that, and then it turns into something else, this
yeah.
journey that this young lady goes on. And um, I mean, once again, shout out to Mikey, because
Oh, yeah.
if she doesn't give this performance as she does, we're not even talking about Honora right now.
That's very true.
So, you know, I shout out to Sean Baker, but he needs to thank Mikey a little bit,
Yeah, yeah.
for that Best Picture win there. Um, I thought it would have been crazy if The Substance won.
Bro,
Just at
again,
the very end, they just shock everybody, you know?
yes, because again, like the many people have, you know, talked about the fact that the Oscars like craves a controversy, like craves something so everyone could be talking about it the next day, whether it's saying the wrong movie title, whether it's a slap, whether it's this, like there's always something going on. So like it would not be out of the ordinary for them to be like, oh, by the way, best picture, The Substance. You know, like
Right.
what? Like everyone would be losing their minds at this indie film, this horror film, something that I never even thought would be nominated for an Oscar. Not because it's not deserving, but I was just like, oh, the Academy's not gonna consider that movie. And they did, and that's amazing. I would have been overjoyed if they said Dune 2.
Right.
I'd have been like, yes,
That would have
let's
been great.
go. Because that's a movie that we talk about it like on the grand scope of things, like the scale of that movie is so huge. And when you think about all the moving parts and everyone coming together, the crew, the director, the actors, the producers, everybody making this juggernaut of a movie, I can absolutely see that happening. You know what I mean? But again, they went with Honora, and a lot of it does rely on Mikey's performance. And as you mentioned, like Sean just won Best Director. It got best original screenplay, and now it's getting Best Fit Picture. And I was like, wow, like it really went hard.
Yeah, and it's I'm happy for the guy,
Oh yeah.
because you make such a small scale movie and you don't expect this.
Oh yeah.
It's just you're just making this character focused film, and then all of a sudden all this stuff starts happening,
Yeah.
Nobody knew who Sean, well, we knew the name, obviously,
Mhm.
because of movies and stuff like that, but the public didn't know who Sean Baker was. But guess what?
No.
Now they know who Sean Baker
Yeah,
is,
that's Best Director right there.
and then
Like
once you win Best Director or Best Picture, people start looking at you and they want to see what
mhm,
you're going to do next. So
yeah.
I'm happy for Sean Baker, and I'm happy for the cast and crew for Honora. They put together a great small scale movie, and it got a lot of recognition here. Um, Before award season started, I thought that Wicked had a shot
Mhm.
at Best Picture, just from the sheer amount of nominations it got. And this was before I saw it. I wouldn't have been surprised if Amelia Perez got it. Um,
Oh, okay.
so many different nominations. Conclave. I thought Conclave. That was my last pick at the very end. It was either Conclave or The Brutalist, and I
Mhm.
was leaning more towards The Brutalist. But out of nowhere, just Honora, and shout out to Sean Baker for his win on Best Picture there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he does next now too, because like you said, like he just won Best Director. So I'm curious to see what projects line up for him.
Yes. Alrighty. So we're gonna start closing things out here, but before we did that, we wanted to recognize the films with multiple nominations and see how many they ended up winning.
Mhm.
So we'll just do if you had 5 or more nominations. So The Substance had 5 nominations, and let's take a peek here. And it ended up winning Best Makeup and Hairstyling.
Mhm.
So it only walked away with 1 there. Next up here, we have Dune Part 2, and it was nominated also for five Academy Awards, and it won 2 Oscars. It won Best
Mhm.
Visual Effects and Best Sound Design. So this just followed suit to, the first Dune movie, just a lot of technical awards along the way. And unfortunately, Dune 2 didn't get nominated as much as the first Dune movie, but I think Denis will be back,
Oh,
and
100%.
we'll see what
100%.
happens with Dune Part 3, because if it's anything like the first two Dune movies, we expect another epic sci-fi movie from
Oh yeah.
him. Alrighty. Next up is Anora with 6 nominations. We're going to come back to that movie in a second here, but Anora had 6 nominations.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Conclave. Conclave had 8 nominations,
Whew.
and it won 1 Oscar. It won Best Adapted Screenplay. So that's Conclave. A Complete Unknown, that had 8 nominations. 8. Let's see how many wins. No wins.
Yeah.
So A Complete Unknown had the most wins, the most nominations with 0 wins. So
With
that's
0
8.
wins. Yeah.
Yeah, for this year's Oscars. So that's A Complete Unknown. Next up, we have Wicked. And let's see here. Wicked had 10 nominations. All
Ooh,
right.
that's a lot,
Yeah.
dude. I'm telling you, that's why people thought Wicked was gonna have a big year this year.
Yes, absolutely. So 10, 2 wins. Best costume design and best production design. So only 2 wins for Wicked there. The Brutalist, 10 nominations as well.
Whew.
Let's see how many wins. The Brutalist had 3 wins. So let's take a look here. Best cinematography, best original score, and best actor.
Okay.
That's Adrian Brody. So the Brutalist got 3 out of 10. The film with the most nominations at 13. 13 nominations. That's Emilia Perez.
Dude,
And
a lot.
we're
That's
going
a
to talk about
lot of
this first.
nominations.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So Emilia Perez won 2 and won Best Original Song and Best Supporting Actress, Zoe Saldana. So without getting into the controversy
Mhm,
of Emilia Perez, I had this conversation with Ricardo off the air. I can definitely see why Emilia Perez got a lot of attention.
mhm.
Um, it checked a lot of boxes. I mean, this wasn't just a Netflix movie. Like, um, uh, the director wanted to focus on a lot of different things, and that's, I believe, why all of the different um, award season companies and such, why they recognized Emilia Perez. It checked off a lot of boxes. First of all, we focused on women as
Mhm.
as the leads and such. You had the LGBT community
Yeah.
as well. We're talking about um, a Latino based movie. It's also mostly Spanish, so it's a foreign language film.
Yep. Foreign language movie. Yep.
A lot of subtitles. You're looking at a very gritty topic such as the cartel. On top of the LGBT community, we have the trans community specifically. They were
Mhm.
focused on as well, and you know, uh, just a lot of different things along the way. It was a musical,
Yep.
so
It's like, well,
it
we got musical numbers. Put it in there.
yeah, it checked a lot of boxes, so I can see why it got a lot of attention um, during awards season. But no shade to them as far as the movie goes.
Mhm.
Man, I'm looking at this list here, and I'm just gonna read it. This is the only time I'm gonna read all of them. So, best original song, 2 nominations, and it won one of them. Best original score, best makeup and hairstyling, best cinematography, best sound, best film editing, best adapted
Gosh.
screenplay. It won best supporting actress for Zoe. Nominated again, best actress, best director, best international feature, and best picture. 13
It's
nominations.
like it's
The
like, bro,
Academy
like
loved this movie.
that's why, dog. I'm telling you, it absolutely could have been the movie of the Oscars. That went to
Correct.
Anora, but this good with that many nominations. There's a strong possibility that it's like, oh man, that's going to be the movie this year.
Right. So we're gonna close things out here with the big winner of the night, which was
Mhm.
Anora. and
Oh
Honora
yeah.
was only nominated, yes, and I say only, nominated for 6 Oscars,
Okay.
and it walked away with 5 of them. So, yeah, it walked away with, let's see here, I'm sorry, I had it in front of me.
What can I remember?
Yeah,
Best original screenplay, best director,
mhm,
best best actress. Those are the three that I remember.
yeah, it won Best Film Editing.
Oh, best one.
Uh,
Okay, okay.
yep, so Best Film Editing, Best Original Screenplay, nominated Best Supporting Actor, Yura Borisov. It won
Hmm.
Best Actress, Mikey Madison. It won Best Director, Sean Baker, and it won Best Picture,
Best picture.
um, as well. Honora was the big winner of the night.
She was. She was. And again, I it's so fun
Here's
when
your
we can be surprised. Look at that. Look at that, man.
Yeah, that go. And
Like,
so Baker's holding those because he got an Oscar for each one
yep.
because he was one of the editors. So
Yeah.
editor, original screenplay, director, best picture. Because when you're a producer on your own movie, you get the best
Mhm.
picture as well. So there he is holding, and then Mikey. I did
Like
an edit there where Mikey's holding one too. So,
it's like you see the smile on his face. He's so overjoyed. And
yeah.
again, like there are many times where I can watch a movie and go, "That's a great movie," and think, "Well, the Oscar's not going to pick it." And again, I never say that because I don't think a movie's not deserving. I'm just like, okay, it's not a movie I can see the Oscars giving that much love to. And I love being surprised, man. And there always seems to be one movie at the Oscars that kind of just does a great sweep that everyone talks about. We talked about Mad Max Fury Road in 2013 doing really well at the Oscars and be like, oh man, is it going to give Best Picture? That'd be amazing. So there's always a movie or two that gets a lot of like recognition and press. And I wasn't sure that was going to be Nora. I thoroughly enjoyed Nora, but I thought like, okay, like, it'll get its nominations, but no, Nora came through, man. The Academy really liked it. They really liked it and they let it be known.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so funny. I went on socials after the fact, and it's one of those typical Oscar movies where the one that um, won Best Picture, nobody heard of it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the people were just like, "Honora, what's this movie about?" It's like, well, it was announced, like it started getting announced, in the fall of last year, so you had a chance to
Mhm.
check it out,
Yeah.
and such. But yeah, Sean Baker definitely the story of the night. He
Yeah.
went in, um, just hoping for the best and walked out with 4 statues. Wow.
Four, dude. And like you said, like I don't think when they were making this movie, they were like, "We're going for the Oscars, baby."
Yeah,
Like
no,
like
there's
you
no
said,
way.
it's that's not the feeling you get like when you watch a movie like The Brutalist. You're like, "All right, like they made this like, all right, we're gonna have a strong campaign." If like Honora just felt like a really interesting movie that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna recommend this to my friends and my peers," and that would be the end of it. So to know that it got as much love was absolutely surprising, and I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy for them. I'm always happy for any of these films, but I don't know. It feels like the little movie that could like that and The Substance were the two movies that I felt like if The Substance had come together and won Best Picture, that would have melted my brain because I'm like, you got this independent movie with the subject matter and the genre. I'm like, whoa. And Honora's kind of in that same boat where like Honora just feels like a smaller movie. Like it feels like a smaller movie. And well deserved, well deserved and good recognition for them.
Yeah, and we didn't I don't think we talked about this, but Demi had won the Golden Globe um
Oh yeah.
over Mikey
Yep.
for The Substance. So that's where people were just like, "Oh, is she going to win the best actress for the Oscar as well?" But unfortunately, it didn't happen,
Yeah.
but it's okay. It was just one of those nights with the exception of Honora, just the love got spread around a little bit, but
Yep.
towards the end of the night it was just like, uh-oh, I guess this
Yep.
is the direction that we're going to go in, but good for Sean Baker and good for everybody that worked on the movie. Um it's just one of those that it got rewarded for what it was trying to do. So,
Yep.
good on them. All righty. Folks, that was the Panel Bros official reaction to the 2025 Oscars. If you could please give us a like, share, and subscribe on YouTube at the Panel Bros, we'd appreciate it. Those likes, shares, and subscribes, they help our reach so more people can view us and listen to us. Also, if you could please leave your comments below, letting us know how you felt about our reaction to the 2025 Oscars. We'd appreciate it. And please share your reactions to the 2025 Oscars. We'd like to hear what you thought. For Ricardo Segura, this is Anderson Marchak saying thank you for coming to the panel.